and welcome to the very first episode of the FIFA 18 Ultimate Career Mode. Now, if you enjoyed the Ultimate Rebuild series that we did before on FIFA 17, then this is definitely going to be the series for you. And of course, we are kicking this series off with none other than Charlton Athletic. Now, the rules for this series will be down in the description. They are very simple, but I will go over them briefly right now. So first of all, we of course every episode have to pick a team. Once we've got that team, we have to pick an objective that aligns with that team's real life objectives. Then it's as simple as we have to begin rebuilding the team. Each episode will only be one season now, so that's where it slightly differs from the Ultimate Rebuild, and we do sim most games except perhaps derbies against rivals, cup finals, and of course playoff finals if that team is going to be in a playoff final. So there's not much more than that. It's very, very simple. So let's begin this brand new series. So here we are in the brand new FIFA 18 Manager Career Mode. I've never used this mode before. I've literally not even tried it out in any way, shape or form. It's pretty similar menu-wise, apart from the slightly different colour scheme, to FIFA 17. Because we're Charlton, we're going to go for the 60% increase, and we're going to go for the Global Scouting Network. And here we are to see the board expectations for Charlton Athletic. Now, our domestic success is very important. That's on a high. Not very high, but still high. Youth development, of course, if you're a Charlton fan, as you would know, is also quite important, but they've only given it a medium here. I would have expected it to be high, but we are on medium, so that's one thing that we have to consider so that we don't get sacked. Everything else is either low or very low: continental success, brand exposure, and financial. But we've got our own objective here, which is that we want to get, of course, Charlton Athletic promoted to the championship within this first episode, within this first season. So we're a 2.5-star team. Let's advance with this setting. We've still got the same old manager icons to pick from here. Let's just go for this geezer. I have no idea why. Let's put him in a tracksuit as well, and we're gonna make our name the return of Mr. Joel Robinson. So we're English. We're gonna press options to press done. We're gonna play on world class. We're gonna have 6-minute halves. We're gonna play obviously in Sterling, latest squads, and we're gonna rename our stadium, of course, to the Valley and advance straight to the career mode that we're starting. So we're downloading the updates. Hopefully our squad is going to be, you know, pretty good to compete in League One as it is. But then of course we do have, I don't know how much our budget is. I didn't actually have a look at that. I think it was around about the 2 million or something around there. But we are going to use that money to invest in some better players that are going to help us in the long term and in the short term getting out of League One to the Championship. So first things first, we have been invited to one of these tournaments where we can potentially get some more transfer funds as prize money if we come out on top. Now we're just going to go ahead with the most prize money offered to us, which was that middle one. A few decent teams in there, but ones that we should be beating. So hopefully we can win that. We are only going to sim it, but let's hopefully get some more transfer funds behind us. So a first look at our squad here, and this is the default sort of formation it gives us. I might push this up to an actual sort of 4-3-3 with 2 holding midfielders and an attacking midfielder, or you know, 2 centre mids and an attacking midfielder. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. We'll only change it very slightly, but we are going to keep with Carl Robinson's sort of model of one up front with a sort of centre forward or a CAM right behind. I might do a little tiny bit of change into this team, and we'll be back in a second. Now I've only literally made one change here, and that is that Mark Marshall comes in for Tariq Fosu. Of course Fosu is a great player, we will be using him, but just for the rating factor I am going to stick Marshall in there at the moment as the first team starter, and obviously Fosu can come off the bench and whatnot. Ben Reeves is only a 63 rated, Lewis Page is also a 63 rated, Phillips has gone up to a 60, Contra and Aribo are 62s at a very young age, very good prospects for us, and Dudu here, or Dodu, I don't know how to pronounce his name even to this day, even though he's our player, is a 66 rated, and I think will be on loan for the entire season. Now last time in FIFA 17, Jada Silva, there was a glitch where he didn't go back to Chelsea because he was considered just a Charlton player, he wasn't considered a loan player, so I don't know if that's going to be the same. We'll have a look at that in a second, but that is going to be more or less our starting 11. Now of course one of the prime targets of any Charlton team is to develop the youth. Now we have so many young players, so much young talent, that it's very, very hard to sort of pick and choose which players that we're going to grow. But these are the 5 that I've selected so far: Yan Pham, Dylan Phillips, Joe Aribo, Tariq Fosu, and Ezri Konsa. That means we miss out on developing a Hearn Grant, Aaron Barnes, and you know, many other players, Deke still as well. We might try and get some players out on loan, but for now I've selected these lot to be the ones going through the tough regimes to raise the rating overall of each player quite a hefty amount. So let's see how they do in their first training session. Not so bad, apart from Yan Pham, who got an F, and yeah, we're going to be looking and keeping an eye on this quite a lot in this series. So this season it has completely changed how you sort of work your transfers. So we do have the transfer hub, and that is where all of the players that you scout, all the players that you want to research sort of get shortlisted. And as you can see, we have shortlisted quite a lot of players down here in various positions. Now the positions that we have sort of identified identified that we need to improve on are first of all the right mid or left mid positions, so a winger essentially. Then second of all a striker. Third of all a central attacking midfielder to support Ben Reeves and Billy Clark. And fourth a goalkeeper. But we also do have some sort of versatile midfielders and other sorts of players down here as well. There are a lot of players that we are pursuing, so let's see what kind of deals we can get done in the future. And surprise, surprise, in the first sim match, I just thought I'd show you this. Ricky Holmes gets a hat-trick, which puts us in first position, I would expect, in the Invitational Cup that we are involved in with that 3-1 win over Exeter. So our first transfer offer has come in for one of our own players. Now QPR want to sign Patrick Bauer, who is a very important player that I see in the club going forward, for 1.25 mil. Not enough money either for me. So let's go to the transfer hub. I think we can straight out reject this and block offers. Yeah, it seems like we can. So let's go here and reject this offer, and hopefully they won't come back with any more. Okay, so I've just pressed X on, you know, trying to get a transfer deal done, and I didn't realize it would take me straight into this cutscene. So I am trying to sign the player with the best name in the world, and as you can see there, I just saw Ahmed Karshi's shirt was on the wall of the office here, which is really interesting. So Fred Friday, he has the best name on the game. I'm pretty sure he's acquired a fake passport at some point, but they're talking, he's apparently worth 2.2 mil, so we're going to offer a transfer fee, and we're going to start, where should we start? So he's worth 2.2 mil. So how about I start with no, maybe a bit more than that actually. Maybe I'll start with probably have to go just over half, don't I? 1.3 million. Let's try that. Let's press advance and submit that offer. We're prepared to offer you 1.3 million for Friday. Okay, so what's he going to say then? So they want 2.75 and they want a sell-on clause to receive 10% of the transfer fee if you sell Friday in the future. Well, he's a young guy. I have no real plans to sell him on, so I'm happy to go on for the sell-on clause. I don't know if that's automatically put it in there. This is very, very different. So the sell-on clause, 10%. Okay, so that's there. That's fine. Let's go down to 2 million. So we're currently offering 2 million with a 10% fee. Let's propose that new transfer fee. Let's propose the new offer. So we're going for 2 million with a 10% sell-on fee. So he's talking, Joel Robinson. I'm sorry, but we believe that Friday is worth more than you are offering. We are not willing to reduce his price any further. Oh, so it's very much more difficult to strike a deal here. As you can see, this would only leave me with 589 grand. So let's counter one more time and let's put it down to 2.2 million, which is his actual worth. And I'm not going to go above that. I'm a little bit tight in this situation perhaps, but we are going to propose that right now and submit the offer and see if that final compromise is going to be enough to push this deal through, because I do quite want this guy, Fred Friday. He looks like just a jokes player to play with. So let's see if this happens. Okay, we're going to need some time. We'll consider your offer for Friday and we'll have an answer for you soon. Bye for now. Then he just gets up and leaves. Fair play to you as AZ Alkmaar's rep. Fair enough. So they're going to get back to us with an offer. They've stalled it to allow themselves some time to think. And that is an interesting mechanic that I've never seen in career mode before. So wow. So we're going to go straight in for another negotiation here, and we're going in for the West Ham right midfielder, Samuelson. He's 20 years old. I believe, to my memory, he's about 63 or 64 rated. He's also got that special something according to the sort of transfer research. I feel like I've wasted my trip here. We won't entertain such a derisory offer for Samuelson. It's clear we can't reach an agreement based on the initial offer, so we are pulling out. Goodbye. Slavan Bilic was not having that, mate. 400 grand was a pretty decent amount of money, I thought. But apparently, he was outraged at such a proposition. So, okay, well, we're going to have to move our target to elsewhere or maybe come back to him a bit later. Okay, so we're back on the negotiation table for Fred Friday here. It's cut to a black screen. We're back in the office. I've got to be very careful because it seems like the deals are just a lot harder to get done, really, at the moment. So I'm actually going to go with 2.45 just to undercut them a little bit, because 300 grand will go a long way for us. So let's advance. Hopefully they will accept this counter bid. Oh, they're actually rejecting it, so they don't want to reduce his price any further. It's 2.75 or nothing at this point, it looks like. Do we want Fred Friday that much? I do think so, actually. I'm going to just accept the counter. That's going to be our first signing. All I want to do is see the handshake now and see our first signing confirmed. There's the handshake. Karshi's shirt framed in the background in the manager's office, and we have got Fred Friday in the club. So So 2 bids have come in here. One for Archie Edwards on loan. That's Yeovil who want to take him for a year. We're going to accept that offer. Quite a promising young player, Edwards. So let's let him go and experience a season at Yeovil. And Ricky Holmes wants to go to, well, he doesn't want to, but Queen's Park Rangers want to sign him for £870,000. We're going to completely reject that. We do not want to sell Ricky Holmes, especially in this first season. I think he's going to be very, very important for us. So if we go back to the transfer hub, I believe we can go straight in and negotiate for Fred Friday. So let's go to the office, and he is arriving with his agent, I believe, where we can work out what he's going to get in wages. So here we are, another cutscene. It's great to see you. Thank you for both coming. Have a seat. So here he is, Fred Friday. He wants £6,900. That's his current contract, in fact. Friday is happy with the length of the contract. The 2-year contract works for him. Perfect. So that's our first signing. We've accepted that. It's certainly more than we planned for originally, but we'll meet your wage demands and look forward to Friday joining our squad. Now, I just wanted to get the first deal done, so I might have gone a little bit over with that deal there, but I did need a striker very, very much. So we do have Fred Friday now. Let's put him straight into the squad. So there we go. Fred Friday is on the bench now. We've taken Dodu off the bench, and until McGuinness proves to me that he doesn't deserve a place in the starting lineup, we will allow Friday to come off of the bench to replace McGuinness in the upcoming games. So we're back at the table with Slavan Bilic for Samuelson, the young right midfielder. Apparently another team has offered 800 and I think it was 30 grand for the young player. So his value is 675. We're going to go in with 800 and see what they come back with. There we go. And Slavan Bilic says, I think that's a fair offer for Samuelson. We're happy with the terms, so we will get all the paperwork done and finalize the deal. It's been a pleasure. So that is good. We've had a bid accepted for Samuelson. I think 800k is a pretty good bargain for Samuelson, and he can play right midfield. That's his primary position, and centre attacking midfield as well. So this is getting very complicated. We're at the table with Martin Samuelson and his agent, and he wants a clause where if he scores 15 goals, or once he scores 15 goals, they get £300,000, and also a signing on bonus of 165. So let's counter that. So we've proposed pretty much all we can afford here for Samuelson. A signing on fee of 45,000, 100,000 after scoring 15 goals. Oh, there we go. He's eager to join your club, and we will accept that weekly wage to finalise the deal. So there we go. Our second player into the club, and Samuelson joins Charlton Athletic. Always be closing. So we've earned a trophy there. Let's have a look. So secure a player on the first go. Now that is a difficult thing, but we have done it. We've got a trophy for it, and our team is going to be a lot stronger for it. And we have got an additional £880,000, which is quite significant for Charlton at this point in time, additional to the budget because we won the Invitational Cup. Now that is a pretty good little fee to get, and hopefully that will mean we can sign one extra player in this window. So confirmation there that Archie Edwards has accepted a 1-year loan move to Yeovil Town and will go out and get a season of full-team football under his belt. So I actually forgot to check whether Jay Da Silva was our player, or if he was considered, obviously like he is in real life, on loan from Chelsea, but we have got a loan offer in for him from Doncaster, which is obviously going to tell us that Jay Da Silva is considered our player. A bit of an annoying game glitch, but it does work in our favour, so we'll take it, of course. Okay, so we have met with Slavan Bilic again, this time for the young 17-year-old attacking midfielder by the name of, I'm going to call him Quinoa, even though that's probably not his name. He's 17, he's 62 rated, and he looks like an absolute beast for the future on career mode. We do first, though, have to negotiate his wages, so let's make sure we do that before we get too excited. So we've proposed a deal which takes away basically this really expensive clause that they wanted in the contract. Let's see what they come back and say to us. It's not going to work. We came here to finalise this transfer, but your revised offer is disappointing, and Quinoa no longer has any interest in joining your club. Well, that all fizzled out very quickly, didn't it? So that's disappointing. And here we go. We have been drawn pretty much the best team in England at the moment, other than Manchester City, in the Carabao Cup in only the second round. So what a perfect time to see what the sort of single-player career mode feels like and put ourselves up against the best. So this is the team we're going to field. We've got McGuinness up front with Reeves just behind, Holmes and Marshall on the wings, Forster-Caskey and Kashi in the midfield, Pearce and Bauer centre-back with Solly and Da Silva on the full-back positions with Amos in goal. The bench, we have Fred Friday. We also have Fosu to bring on, Clark, Aribo, Konsa, Page and Dylan Phillips. So let's go and see, hopefully, if we don't lose against Manchester United, how we can fare. Now, we haven't had the amount of time to sort of grow and develop the signings that we've made. We also haven't even made all the signings that we want to make in the window, including this and January as well. So it's going to be a real test for us, and we'll be able to see where exactly we want to be improving in the future. Look at their team though. They are fielding Lindelof, Carrick, Matic and Rashford, as well as Lingard on the right and also Pereira in goal. Pretty much, and Darmian as well, I've just seen there. Pretty much a very, very weakened team, but a lot of players that would get into the Premier League lineup for Manchester United there as well. So here we go. Let's see how we fare against Manchester United. As Jay Silva comes forward, passes the ball to Ricky Holmes. He's going to do DeMarcos, the defender. Jay Silva's going to feed it back to Ricky Holmes. We're going to poke it inside to Josh McGuinness, who's lost the ball. Uh-oh. Oh, and they've gone 1-0 up. That came out of absolutely nowhere. I wasn't even commentating on the gameplay. And I think it's Marcus Rashford who's put that in with his left foot. And already we've gone 1-0 down in only the 14th minute. Just a little 1-2. And he tried the shot. Got lucky a little bit with getting the ball there in the box. And then he just buried it past Ben Amos. Ex-Manchester United player, of course, for the 1-0 advantage. Jay Silva back to Ben Reeves. Find Jay Silva again. He's going to find a ball all the way to Mark Marshall, who's going to put it back, and has it gone in? It has. I think it was, I'm not actually sure who's put that in. Is it Forster-Caskey? I think it was Forster-Caskey who put that in. Let's have a look at the replay. So we got the ball with Jay Silva, who put a dangerous ball across the box. It went to Mark Marshall. Number 19, who I do believe is Forster-Caskey, puts it in, and it goes off of number 38. Is it Tuanzebe or something like that? I'm not sure, but either way, we have equalised against the run of play and against all odds against Manchester United. Back to Matic, back to Carrick, through ball threaded, and that's going to be a goal surely. Oh, he's put it wide. Surprisingly, I think that was Callum Wilson, not Callum Wilson, but Wilson has put it wide for Manchester United, and that was a golden opportunity. And that's half time. We are still at 1-1, so we're equal with Manchester United, nothing to separate us. 2 good goals scored by either side, and I think that we do stand a chance in this game if we can have a strong second half performance. Oh, we've won the ball back high up the pitch. McGuinness is going to be able to find someone. Does he? Yes, he does. It's Kashi. Going to find Ricky Holmes. Can he cut inside? It's going to be back to Ben Reeves. Then one more. Over to Mark Marshall with space. Shoot, Marshall. Oh, it's a great save from Pereira. What an effort that was from Marshall, and that could have gone in the top bins if Pereira wasn't concentrating there. Corner's going to come in. Oh, it's a good corner. McGuinness is there, and it's gone all the way in. What a goal. McGuinness actually gets the touch on. It rolls all the way past everyone, past the keeper and into the back of the net. And we are beating Manchester United in the first game that we've ever played on the Charlton Ultimate Career Mode. Through the legs of Jesse Lingard. Actually hit him in the nuts there. Look, he even winced at it. Great little detail from the FIFA creators there, the animation geezers. But it's a goal for Josh McGuinness, and we're 2-1 up. Good tackle, Jay Silva. Jay Silva's been sublime for me in this game. Forster-Caskey's going to calm the game down a little bit. We've got the ball out here with Marshall. He's going to take on his man. He's got absolute pace, Marshall. We know he can put a ball in as well if he needs to. And there are plenty of bodies in there for him. And he does find the back post. Oh, and that should have been a goal from Ricky Holmes. Met it with his head. And they're going to make a substitution. Paul Pogba now coming on. Absolutely dangerous. And we are going to bring on somebody around about the 65th minute, but not quite yet. So we're going to bring McGuinness off for Fred Friday and see how he feels on this game. We're also going to bring Holmes off for Tariq Fosu just because he's a bit knackered and I want him fit for the league game. I know it's a bit silly to say that against Man United because how much better does it get than beating Manchester United in this game, and you know, when you're 2 leagues below them, but we are going to do that and see what happens. Oh, ball comes in. Who's at the far post? It's Rashford, and he actually gets his head to it and puts it past Ben Amos, and I didn't expect him to actually win the header, let alone get it on target right in the bottom corner there, and that is unfortunate. In the 74th minute, we have conceded to a Marcus Rashford header. Rashford obviously does beat Solly for height, and that is unfortunate. Oh, Pogba's got the ball. Misplaces his pass. He's got the ball back though. It's Wilson on the edge of the box. What's he going to do with it? He puts a nice ball in and Rashford's there. Oh, and I thought he was offside. Rashford was in acres of space and he's put Man United 3-2 up. That is heartbreaking stuff. We do have 9 minutes to try and pull a goal back, but Rashford runs over to Mourinho, slides on the floor, and that was a pretty undefendable chance there. Got the ball in and just Solly again caught out by Marcus Rashford, and that is quite poor. Can we get this straight through to Fred Friday? We actually can. If he can control the ball here, he does. Finds Tariq Fosu, who's come off the bench. Finesse shot, and again Fosu. Oh, it's been blocked by courageous Manchester United defending, and DeMarcus gets it away. Rashford, who's been the game changer really here, gets the ball even further up, and Solly caught out again here, this time by Michael Carrick of all people, but he does manage to redeem himself with the block. Here we go, we're in the box. Ben Reeves over to Kashi. Shoot, Kashi. Come on, who's got the rebound? Oh, he's put it wide. Jason Pearce is not who you want on the end of that chance, and that was the ultimate chance to put us, you know, 3-3 in the game, and he just dragged it wide. Terrible effort from Jason Pearce, but he's not who you wanted it to fall to. We are actually maybe going to get the chance to counter here. No, we are not. It's the full-time whistle. Forster-Caskey picks the ball up, and then the full-time whistle blows, and unfortunately, Man United have only just bested us, and a Marcus Rashford man of the match performance and hat-trick is going to secure Man United to go through to the next round, and that is very unfortunate, but a very brave display from the Charlton boys, and it's good, promising signs of what's to come. As you can see, everyone put in a really decent display. McGuinness and Holmes, obviously, who came off, put in really good displays. Fosu, not so good coming off the bench either, but he didn't have much time to affect the game. Maybe the substitutions we got wrong, but everyone else who started the game played really, really well, and I cannot fault that display from anyone, really, at all. So Dick still has gone for 1 year to Barnet to improve his skills and maybe, you know, get some first-team football there, and he might come back a stronger player and be in contention of getting in our first 11 at that point. So let's see what happens with Deke still. So we are in the last hour of transfer deadline day, and as I tick down this clock, we weren't able to get any further deals done just because of a slight lack of funds, but we have made 2 good signings in Samuelson and of course Fred Friday, pretty much our star buy of the summer, and we do definitely have a squad that is capable of competing for promotion. So let's have a look at how we're going to be lining up. So Fred Friday is in a bit of form. He scored in the last game for me, so he is getting the nod ahead of Josh McGuinness, who didn't score in the opening 3 games. At the moment, Billy Clark just behind, Holmes on the left, Marshall on the right, Forster-Caskey and Kashi in the middle. Marshall's already gone down, I think 1 maybe to a 65, or maybe he stayed the same. Solly and Page are going to take our fullback positions. De Silva was in the FIFA 17 rebuild. He was quite a prominent player, but this time it seems like Page is going to be the main guy at left back. Pearson Bauer in the middle, Amos in goal, and a bench that is pretty strong, consisting of Phillips, De Silva, Concert, Aribo, Fosu, Reeves, and McGuinness. All these players down here as well will get used at some point. Dodu, Ahern Grant, Samuelson, Yam Pham, Jackson Yao, Maloney, Barnes, Lennon, and Sarr. They will all be used at one point or another, be that in the Checkatrade Trophy, in the league, in the cup, whatever it may be. This is a strong squad, and let's see where we are come Christmas time, or January, let's say. Okay, so here we are in January. It's just at the beginning of the January transfer window at the moment, and let's see where we are in the table. If we just scroll up, we're not 4th, we're not 3rd, we are 2nd now. Oxford United have run away with it a little bit here. 6 points clear of us at the moment, so not like they're uncatchable, but we are in the automatic promotion spots, which is very, very good. But Scunthorpe, Blackburn, even maybe MK Dons, probably not Southend, but these teams are on our tail, and they could catch us up if we have a little spell of bad form. But I'm really liking the team we're building. Some of the young players are starting to grow even more, and let's have a look at how the players are doing in terms of top scorers and assists. So in the league it is Thomas of Oxford United who is top. Novak, by the way, Lee Novak there in 2nd place with 14 goals. Maybe we shouldn't have let him go, but that wasn't in my power, obviously, in this particular Ultimate Career Mode. We do have at number 9 there Mark Marshall, as well as Ricky Holmes down there at number 16. They have 9 goals and 8 goals respectively, and then even further down you have Fred Friday, who's grabbed 7 goals. Not too many for Josh McGuinness, but we'll have a look fully at the whole squad's stats at the moment. If we move over to assists, we do have Jake Forster-Caskey, who's joint top with Niall Ranger of Southend, as well as Mark Marshall, again having a great season with 5 assists for us down there. If we go down, there's no one else creeping on, but that is pretty solid all round for Mark Marshall, Ricky Holmes, Fred Friday, and Jake Forster-Caskey. The squad is looking very, very nice at the moment. Obviously, you can see first of all that Concert here has gone up to a 69, so he's overtaken players like Forster-Caskey, Clark, etc. He was only, I think, a 62 at the beginning of this, but we also have De Silva, who's gone up by 3, so he's competing now with Page, who's down here at a 65, grown up himself as well. Or gone up, not grown up, he's not getting any older. Well, I suppose he has a little bit, but anyway, Fred Friday's up there, he's gone up 1 to a 71 rated. Samuelson on the right, he's only played 9 games for us, started to play very well recently, also kicking up a bit of a fuss about his game time. We've also got Ricky Holmes, who's gone down by 1 to a 68. Everyone else is pretty much the same. I think Solly might have gone up 1 as well, and also down here, Dylan Phillips is also in just half a season as good rating-wise as Ben Amos, so he'll definitely be getting some first-team action maybe next season. And then down here, we've got Naby Sarr, Lennon, Aribo up to a 65 on the bench, Fosu, Reeves, and McGuinness. Bauer down here. As you can see, the squad's looking very thin as it is in real life, purely because we've let a lot of the youth players go on loan. I tried to grow Yam Pham up a little bit, maybe up to a sort of mid-50s at his young age, but I started to abandon his sort of growth for a little bit for Samuelson's, because I think Samuelson is pretty much the same age and he's already a slightly higher rating. But we're not abandoning Yam Pham totally. We might let him go out on loan. We also need to bring probably a couple of players in, so let's see what we can do in January. But before we get any business done, I am just going to take you through the squad hub and see who our best players are in terms of appearances, goals, and assists across all competitions. So obviously now you get that little breakdown on the right hand side there, and it includes all competitions, the overall stat for goals and assists and clean sheets and whatever. So Ricky Holmes pretty much our star player here. Mark Marshall with 10 and 6. Billy Clark as well with 9 and 4. Very, very good stuff from him. Fred Friday, Forster-Caskey, and McGuinness has popped up with a few as well. Are pretty much star players attacking-wise. Samuelson's just about getting there now. Fosu hasn't had too many opportunities, but he's growing in the training regime, so we will use him in the future when Ricky Holmes starts to go down as well. But everyone down here performing very, very well. Jose obviously is included in it because he's our player, but he obviously is at Bury. But he's only scored 1 goal and had 2 assists, so it wasn't a great move for him. We'll probably sell him next season. And then down here, a few of these other loan boys. Deke still's had a little bit of game time as well at his club. He's actually provided 2 assists as well, so that's good to see. If we do this by appearances, you can see Holmes and Kashi have had the most, and if I go all the way down to the bottom, you can just have a look at who has been included in what competitions at various points, and then it ends there with some of the youth players. If we just finally do it by assists, Forster-Caskey, Marshall, Holmes, Clark, Kashi, and then it goes to a Jose Friday and a couple of the loan players and whatever. So very, very good stuff for half a season. Now let's get into the January transfer business. So this guy Keener from West Ham, 18 years old and 64 rated at the moment, who we tried to get back in the summer transfer window. I don't think we can quite afford him due to some of the demands that the agent is putting in place when we try and do that. So this guy, he's 19 years old and he's called Saglam. He comes from VFL Bochum, the German team. So we are instead going to try and go for him this time. Let's go into the boardroom and see what we can do. That's a fair offer. My client is happy with that. Lovely stuff. It doesn't get dictated to you in a lot of situations how much you have to put on the table. You really do have to do. You feel more like a businessman in this career mode, which I really like. And we have signed then Saglam from VFL Bochum, who is pretty similar in terms of the quality of player to that Keener guy, and a similar age as well, maybe slightly lower rated, but that is going to be a very, very important signing for us, I believe, in years to come. He can also play left midfield. He's right-footed and he's only 19 years old. I'm very happy with that purchase indeed. And so here we do have the opportunity to face off against Sheffield United, the team that tried to come in real life and swoop for Ricky Holmes, still our star player, who evidently has been our star player this season along with Mark Marshall as well. But we do have the opportunity to face off with them in the FA Cup third round at home at the Valley with pretty much our best team here. So let's see how this game goes if we sim it. So the game's going to kick off here, and I think this is pretty much our strongest 11. Maybe Reeves could have come in for Clark. That's the only other change I might have taken. Fred Friday puts us 1-0 up. Also Samuelson on that right for Marshall as well. He's not even on the bench, Marshall. Fosu is there as our winger on the bench, but we're 1-0 up at the moment. If we can keep hold of this scoreline at the moment, then we will be through to the 4th round of the FA Cup, and that'll be a really, really good result against the Championship opponent, which will show where our squad is, and it should show that we can compete in the higher tier if and when we get there. And that is the 90th minute. We've won against Sheffield United in the FA Cup, and a very, very, very good result for us there. Okay, so this is some good news right here, because Ezri Konsa, who I was really struggling to get a contract deal with, obviously one of our brightest prospects in the entire club, has agreed a new 4-year deal with us. So that means we're either going to have to cash in on him at some point, but we're going to get a decent amount of money and we won't have to let his contract run down, or more importantly, or more, what we actually want is for him to stay with us and grow as a player as we move up through the tiers. So very, very nice little contract extension that we got done there. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of the January transfer window now. We're actually on deadline day, and one little hiccup that I have encountered is the fact that Ahmed Kashi's contract is expiring now. Having signed contracts for McGuinness, Konsa, and loads of other players, it's going to be very, very difficult, or it's actually impossible for me to have the funds available to negotiate a deal with Kashi. Therefore, I have put him on the transfer list just because it's going to free up a little bit more money. It means we can cash in on him essentially, rather than letting his contract sort of run down and that he can leave for free. He is worth 1.6 million, so I think we have a few hours of deadline day left. It's unlikely that a bid's actually going to come in for him. We have 5 hours left, but if it does, I'll let you know, and I hope it does, because I think with the prominence and the rising of Joe Aribo, we will be able to survive the second half of the season and still qualify for playoffs or achieve promotion without Kashi. But we are actually ticking down the last hour again now, and no bids came in for Kashi. I don't believe that if a bid comes in, because actually in this FIFA you can actually get bids not in the transfer window, so as the season's going on. So I don't think that any bids can come in now for Kashi, because his contract will expire by the end of this sort of 6-month period when the next window opens anyway, and then he'll be able to leave for free. So I don't believe we are going to be able to get any money for Kashi, but that's fine. As long as we get promoted, we'll get a nice little sum for doing so, and we can reinvest in the team with that money. But a little bit unfortunate, and I wish I'd realised sooner that Karshi's contract was expiring. My fault, really. But one place we are struggling for, and I don't know why it's taken Maynard Brewer, obviously our third choice keeper in real life, out of the game, but this Jan Mulder is a youth talent in our youth academy. We've got 2 keepers here. This guy's 15, so we can't actually promote him to the squad yet, but Jan Mulder we can. So when Amos goes next season, we are going to need a little bit of depth for the keepers. I'm going to have to grow this guy, you know, raise his rating up because it's only 46. We're going to promote him to the senior team, and that's going to go towards our future ambitions of, you know, raising talent from the youth and making sure that we have enough players to do so. And as you can see here, just as it happened in real life, Sheffield United are interested in signing Ricky Holmes. Now, I do regret to say, because obviously Ricky is pretty much the best player in League One, he's our star player. In real life, we love him. On the game, however, this season is going to be pretty much his pinnacle season in terms of the fact that he's already going down in terms of his rating, and, you know, his value is only going to decrease from here. When we get to the Championship, I think Fossu's going to be a higher rating than him. I think we're probably going to look for more investment in that area, so I might actually accept this and let him go in the summer, which is a sad thing to say, but I think for the greater good of Charlton Athletic, it could be the right thing to do. So I'm going to propose, I'm actually going to be a bit cheeky because he is a great player. I'm going to go for 1.2 million and see what they say. Oh, they said there's clearly a big discrepancy between your valuation of Holmes and ours. Well, that's probably what happened in real life because he is an absolutely phenomenal player. And I mean, I'm not too disappointed that he's not going to go. I thought it might be a good deal financially for us, considering we're probably going to get promoted this season, but I'm happy to keep him just the same. Of course, our star player, Ricky Holmes, I'm happy to keep him. So as you can see, this is a really, really important game. We've got Oxford at home on the 3rd of February. As you can see, they have a game in hand, and they are 8 points clear of us, that is. Scunthorpe as well have sort of nicked second off us, and they're 6 points clear of us as well. So we really need to win this game to reduce the gap. Let's see if we can do that. We're going to go straight in and sim this game right now. Amos in goal, Solly right back, Page left back, Pearce and Conser in the middle, Samuelson, Forster-Caskey, Aribo and Holmes in the midfield with Clark just behind McGuinness. Hopefully the home advantage will be enough for us to nick a goal here. No goals yet. We're 30 minutes into the game. Approaching half time now, no goals for either side yet. Samuelson puts us 1-0 up, the number 8, the new signing from West Ham, and hopefully we can keep it this way. I'm not going to skip it. Fossu comes on for Forster-Caskey, Reeves has come on as well. They've brought on someone for Payne, and hopefully we can hang on to this. Yes, we can. 90th minute, and we have won against Oxford United. Only 1-0, but we'll take the 3 points and close that gap. Let's see how that looks like in the table now. So a really important result for us there, as we have reduced the gap to 5 points between us and first place. They have got a game in hand, but we've also reduced the gap between us and Scunthorpe from 6 points down to 4 points, and a little bit of good form could go a long way for us, but we will see where we end up just in a second. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of the season now, and I'm starting to try and plan for life in the Championship, which I'll show you the league in a minute so you can see how likely that scenario will be. But we have got the potential to sign this goalkeeper. Remember, Ben Amos is going to leave us because he's only on loan, so he's going to leave us at the end of the season. And this 71 rated keeper, Mika, from Sunderland, is potentially going to be our number 1 for next season, or maybe our number 2 if Dylan Phillips gets himself up rating-wise enough to be our first team keeper. But this is a pretty fair offer, so I'm actually going to accept this. After 15 appearances, he's going to get 72k. He's got a 63 grand signing on bonus, and he actually wants less wages for us than he does get for Sunderland. So let's accept that. It says it's certainly more than we planned for, but we look forward to Mika joining our squad. So let's just skip that, and Mika will be joining us in the upcoming season. Okay, so here we go. We are 2 matches away from the end of the season, and have a look at, first of all, this fixture that we've got, and second of all, this league table right here. So if you have a look, we've got Scunthorpe at the top with 89 points. Charlton are there in second with 83. Oxford just behind by 1 point on 82. Blackburn down there with 80, and then everyone else really out of distance, can't really reach the top 4. So it's going to be one of Blackburn, Oxford, or 2 of Blackburn, Oxford, Charlton and Scunthorpe to go up to the Championship this season. And look, we have a very, very important game against Blackburn. Let me just check the squads in order. It is in order indeed, and we're going to go straight in and sim this game right now. If we can beat Blackburn, I pretty much think that that has secured, and we might still have Oxford to worry about, but we've pretty much secured in that case promotion to the Championship. They do have Bradley Dack, a realistic target in real life for Blackburn for Charlton, once upon a time. We are at 0-0, half an hour into the game. probably looking for someone like Samuelson to score a goal, but Samuel instead, as soon as I said that, scores for Blackburn to put them 1-0 up, and Samuelson does actually equalise for us there. Aribo comes on for Kashi. If we can draw this, we're not, you know, it's not the end of the world, but we would really like to pinch a winner here. Come on, someone net one for us. No, no one's going to. They get an injury right at the end, but it's a 1-1 draw at home with Blackburn, which means it's going to go right down to the last day of the season. Let's see who we've got. Okay, so as long as we get a draw in the last game, Oxford are 2 points behind, so the goal difference that we've got on them at the moment is 7. We've got 29, they've got 22 goal difference, so as long as we draw our last game, I'm pretty sure we will be safe and secured in the Championship. Unfortunately, we couldn't get up to the dizzy heights of 89 points with Scunthorpe, but a pretty good season, and as long as we get a point, like I said, we'll be alright. So let's see who our opponent is. And look, just before that really important game, it looks like Martin Samuelson will be out for 2 months with an LCL injury. That's really unfortunate, but we do have the opportunity to put Mark Marshall or perhaps Tariq Fosu in there instead. Really, he has been one of our star players though this season, as you will see in due time. So we're away against Rochdale. Rochdale are, where are they in the table? They're actually 7th, so they actually could qualify for playoffs, so they've got it all to play for here. And as we are away, and I do believe that it gives you a disadvantage if you play away from home in a simmed match, I am going to actually play it, and the final thing that we're going to do in this episode is play this game against Rochdale. So let's see if we can clinch promotion to the Championship. So if we have a look at the squad going into this game right now, we have Amos in goal at 68, Solly at 70, Page at 66, Pierce and Conser in the middle at 70 and 73. We have Forster Kaski, who's in a bit of a dip of form, but we're still going to use him at a 68 rated. Kashi, our captain at the moment, at 71. Holmes on the left at 68. Fosu at the right because of Samuelson's injury at 67. Reeves at 65. He's a bit underrated on this game, I think, rating-wise for me. And Fred Friday up front. Reeves is at 65. Friday is at 72. And I think that's enough to defeat Rochdale away from home and clinch promotion back to the Championship. Let's see. So here we go, Fred Friday steps forward to take the kickoff here. A bit of a scuffed up centre of the pitch there, but Fred Friday is going to lay it back here, I believe, to Reeves, and we're going to go for this important game and try and get a win. Oh, that's gone in. I wasn't even commentating at all because I thought it was just going way over, but that ball's actually just dipped into the back of the net from Davis, and that is not a good start. And in it goes. Look at that. Leaps like a salmon in the air, and Ben Amos had no chance there. Look, just tries... Well, maybe he could have done a little bit better there, but it was a well-looped header, and unfortunately we're 1-0 down. Go on your bike. Is that Mark Marshall? No, it's Tariq Fosu. He needs to get on his bike even more than that. He's pacey. He's got the ball. If we can whip a ball in here to Fred Friday, we can. How has that not gone in? Oh, but the second one has, and we've equalised 1-1. Go on, Fred Friday. I love his name. I love his skills, and I love that header. 1-1. 11 goals in the league this season. Not a bad return for Friday upstairs by himself. One thing I have found is it's quite difficult to get a real prolific scorer when you're playing this formation, so I think in the Championship next season, as long as we're there, I might go for a 2 up front formation and change it up a bit. Ball to Davis. Davis finds a little ball back to Thompson. It's a good little move. What a save from Ben Amos, and that's why, despite Phillips overtaking him in overall rating, we've kept our faith with him for this season and some of the performances he's put in. Okay, at half-time it's 1-1. We really need to keep this scoreline. As long as Oxford don't win 7-0 at that point, we would be promoted automatically in second place. But I'm not going to make any subs for now. We'll resume the match, and hopefully we can keep hold of this scoreline or even improve on it. Oh no, they're in with a chance here. Great tackle from Jason Pearce. Clean as well. Mark Marshall's going to come on for Tariq Fosu. He's got pace for a counter-attack, and also Ben Reeves is going to come off for Billy Clark, and I think McGuinness can come on as well for Fred Friday. He got his goal, but I want to see McGuinness be part of this match and part of this promotion. Oh, it's a good ball. Oh, Ben Amos makes a nice save down to his left, and another one straight from the little flick from the Rochdale attacker. Not sure who it was. Oh, that's well played from Clark. And Mark Marshall's going to find a little ball over to Josh McGuinness. Can he get his head there? He can. What a save down to his right from Lillis. That could have been the goal to put us 2-1 up, but I think this scoreline is going to be enough to get us promoted. Billy Clark, full-time whistle pretty prematurely, and look at the fans erupt there. That is a new feature that I really enjoy. All the Charlton fans there just raising to their feet at the full-time whistle as they understand that we must have been promoted at this point. And there we go. It's promotion. We finished runners-up, and this is a brand new sort of cutscene or scene that I've not really seen before. They're going to do the hokey cokey, aren't they? It's back from FIFA 17. The hokey cokey is still about. Look at Chris Solly's head bobbling about the place. That is a lovely sight to see, and what a season it's been. Automatic promotion has been achieved, as I think, as long as Oxford haven't won like 7-0, but the game wouldn't let me celebrate if we hadn't have been promoted. So let's go and see the final stats. And there we go, confirmation that Oxford actually drew away at Blackburn. So those two both drop points, and that means we are definitely in second place just behind Scunthorpe. And we get 1.5 million for coming second in League One. Not bad at all. And there's the confirmation of the league table. Scunthorpe finished top of the table with 92 points. Charlton finished second with 85. And Oxford, Blackburn, MK Dons and Southend all make the playoffs. So one of them boys will be going up with us to the Championship. So finally having a look at the top scorers of League One here. At the top we do have, of course, Lee Novak, who scored 21 goals, having made a transfer from us, Charlton Athletic, to Scunthorpe United, who went on to win this league. He's top of the tree there with 21 goals. Oxford have Thomas in at second place there with 18 goals, and our highest scorer for goals was Ricky Holmes, of course, with 13 goals there. And if you go down this leaderboard a little bit further, we do have Mark Marshall and also Fred Friday, who both got 11 goals for us. Novak also got the most assists. I can't believe this has actually happened. Lee Novak got the most assists in the league, as well as being the top scorer, and then Ricky Holmes and Forster Kasky both chart for us, as well as Mark Marshall with sort of 7 and 6 respectively, and no one else creeping on at the bottom of that list. Also worth noting that Ben Amos for Charlton got the most clean sheets in the league, with Nichols of MK Dons as well coming second, well, joint first really, but we apparently topped the chart, maybe because of alphabetical reasons, I don't really know. But Ben Amos, 15 clean sheets. He's going back to Bolton from the loan spell that he was with us now, but very, very good performance this season. But Dylan Phillips is actually a higher rating than him this season, so we're going to have to use him and Mika as our sort of number 1 and 2 goalkeepers for the next term. And so as we go down the squad hub here, we can see the stats of the players in all competitions that we competed in throughout the season. Ricky Holmes coming top of that by quite a way with 20 goals and 10 assists. What a star man we've got on our hands in Ricky Holmes, and I can't believe I was even thinking about selling the guy, because he's probably going to have just as good a season in the Championship with us. Next comes Fred Friday with 12 goals and 5 assists, Marshall with 12 and 7, Clark with 10 and 4, Samuelson with 10 and 3, and then some pretty hefty contributions from Forster Kasky, Jose obviously not for our own team this season, our own campaign, McGuinness as well getting involved, Solly, Conser, Lennon, Foster. I'll just go all the way down to the bottom here until we run out of goals. And then if we do it by assist, as you saw, the top assister of the team was in fact Forster Kasky and Holmes combined, then Marshall, Friday, Clark, and then it goes to, you know, a couple of little 3-2s and 1s, Conser, Kashi, Samuelson, Page, Dyke, Steele, not for our team by the way, Fosu, Solly, and Pierce and McGuinness, and De Silva and Aribo. Blooming hell, we've got a lovely combination of players there contributing to assists. So if we go to the top here, we've got Ricky Holmes, who made the most appearances along with Ahmed Kashi with 55 in all competitions. Quite a lot of football for the geezers there. And Ben Amos with 54, Solly, and I'll go all the way down here to the, so you can see sort of the players that sort of contributed to our season in all the different competitions. You can pause on any player if you want to see how they individually contributed, but we're going to get a couple of players back like a Jose and like Vettelkelly that we can sell on, and we should be able to make some really good investments and transfers in the next episode of the Charlton Ultimate Career Mode. And we can see that it is MK Dons, Carl Robinson's ex-club, that have got promoted to the Championship with us after beating Southend United at Wembley in the final 2-0. And so here we are in a brand new season now. We are in the EFL Championship, and here is confirmation that the 3 teams that got relegated from the Premier League and that we will be competing with this season were Bournemouth, Huddersfield, and also Burnley. So interesting fixtures to come. We have been given almost a 4 million transfer budget, so not too much to play with, but we might be able to do some stuff with it. We can adjust this a little bit as well to the wage budget and the transfer budget, depending on what we want to do, but we are going to save that, just re-look at that when we go into the next episode. But a final look at our squad now that helped us gain promotion from League One, and our strongest 11 more or less now. Fred Friday up front as a 72 rated, Reeves in the hole there as a 65 rated, Holmes on the left 68, Fossil on the right 67, Forster Kasky at 69 in the middle with Kashi our captain at 71, Page there at 66, Pierce and Conser in the middle at 70 and 74, only at the age of 20, so really, really good growth from him. Solly at 27 over on the right back position is a 70 rated. We do have no more Ben Amos in goal because he's obviously finished his loan period with us, so we have Phillips in goal at 70 now, who's grown a lot in the first season, and Mulder, the youngster, on the bench at the moment at only 16 years old. We do have Mika that's going to sign for us soon, but not quite yet. And then in the reserves, we have De Silva at 65, Bauer at 71, Marshall at 65, Aribo, Clark, McGuinness 69 and 66 for those two Irish Bushman. 68 Sarr, 64 Lennon. Samuelson is just coming back from injury and is up to a 69 at the age of 21, so he's going to be very important in the upcoming season. Yanfam still with us at 53. Saglam at 64, who we're going to use a little bit more as well, only 20 years old. Ahern Grant 61. Deek still 61 as well. We probably want to be growing him as well, you know, putting him through some training regimes. Edwards at 57. Vettelkelly has returned along with Nicky Ajosa, who we will probably sell, and I might change this formation to a 2 up front maybe this season, but we'll decide all that in the upcoming episode of the Ultimate Career Mode, where we go into the second season with Charlton. So make sure you leave a little vote up in the top left there, or in the top right, sorry, of what team you want to see next. Make sure you leave a like on this video if you want to see another Charlton episode of this. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time, and sweet.